Hello, we're doing this again. This is very much a spontaneous lift tour that I just got while I was out and about one day trying to get, retakes from 2019 to top up my dying backlog. And for this one, I'm actually going to take after my Aussie peers, which is I'm going to be splitting my lift tours into two. The main ones will stay as they are. Those are the really long videos that, with the complex maps and lots of elevators to cover. And then I'm going to have these mini lift tours, which there are not as many elevators to cover in these, but the complex is still worth exploring as a whole. And for these mini lift tours, I actually want to try and keep them as unscripted as possible. I want this to be low work, I can just ramble, which is actually pretty hard because I'm, terrible at rambling. I've traditionally read off a script for every single one of my lift tours. But yeah, I want to try and keep this as, low work as possible. That also means no maps most of the time. If I can draw an easy map, I'll do that. But otherwise, I want to try and keep this as low key as possible. And well, this is actually a location that should be familiar to most Wellingtonians. It is, of course, the More Wilson store on Tory Street in Central Wellington. More Wilson's is a family-owned Kiwi supermarket chain that was established in 1918. However, I think the Wellington store was only dates back to the 70s or 80s, I think. Someone will have to fact-check me on that. There are 3 elevators to have a look at, and we're going to start inside the store itself. So the store is 3 stories, and when it first opened, it had an express elevator that was then modernized by Schindler in the 1990s with M series. You guys might know that lift now actually as the one where fellow filmer Alex has the COP of in his room. That's because it was decommissioned in 2015, and in its place, in a completely different part of the store, in fact, there is now a Schindler 5500 MRL. It has the thin font linear 100 fixtures, which are slightly inferior, but then again, it also has glass doors, so who can really complain there? Both lifts serve ground 1 and 2, the main More Wilson floors, but the 5500 now also goes up to level 3. But level 3 is just a staff floor anyway, so it's locked off. Replace beeps. This is how you legally see the top of a lift car. Yep. We've got. Oh, that's really loose. Oh, all of these are really loose. Works still? Down to ground?
Yeah. Thank you.
That G looks really burnt out. That's actually the only elevator that's inside the More Wilson store itself. If you go out into the car park, however, you will see 2 more elevators. And the first one that we're going to look at is actually also the only set at this More Wilson store. It's a set of 2. And they're Schindler not 5400s. They're Schindler 2400 MRLs from 2009. They sport FIMXB fixtures because that's just the standard at the time. These ones go from the ground floor, which is the car park and street exit. The first floor, level 1, is the upper floor of the car park. And level 2 in this part of the store is a staff room. So these elevators actually go up into the staff room on level 2. And they also make frequent trips up to level 2 as well. So sometimes when you're on level 1 and you just want to go downstairs to, leave the store or whatever, you might accidentally get a surprise up trip that you probably weren't expecting. But that didn't happen here. I like that. 2400, same capacity as New World, my local New World. Now out here, let's call that one. We'll just take it on a short ride. And finally, we come to the least known elevator at this More Wilson store. And when I say least known, I don't actually mean completely unknown, but for ages, people have actually been deterred from riding it and properly documenting it because of the wording of a sign above the lift on the ground floor. So this is a Schindler M series hydraulic. It only goes between the 2 floors of the car park. I'm not sure if it's original to the store or not because it's definitely from the 1990s, but given there was an express that used to be inside of the main store, my guess is that Schindler put this one in new when they modernized the one inside. And the reason why it has been so underdocumented compared to the previous 2 elevators is because on the ground floor there is a sign that actually says goods lift to upper level parking. Goods lift. Now, that makes you think, okay, it's a service lift. It's probably not for the public to ride. But that same elevator upstairs on level 1, the sign above it just plainly and simply says lift. Which doesn't give any indication either way. So maybe it is fair game to ride it. I don't know. I think I'm going to rule this in favor of public lift from now on. So, anyone who hasn't documented it, feel free to do so. The only lift remaining that's original. This is hydraulic.
Well, it says up there.
Oh, they've taken the handrails out of this side. Still have one on that side.